Todd Grimshaw's grief and anger following Theo Silverton's death bubbled over in tonight's episode of Coronation Street. The investigation into Theo's murder continued, with DS Lisa Swain and DC Kit Green's suspicions falling squarely on Gary Windass. Maria Connor gave him an alibi for the time of the murder, but an accidental selfie taken by Sally Metcalf places him squarely at the scene of the crime. He isn't the only suspect, however, with George Shuttleworth, Christina Boyd, Danielle Silverton, Summer Spellman, and Theo's ex Todd also in the frame. Todd has become increasingly paranoid in his grief and in the wake of the abuse he suffered from Theo, accusing those closest to him of murdering Theo, and he even met up with Gary to grill him, which was witnessed by Kit. Tonight's episode began with Lisa and Kit sharing their latest theories, and Lisa described Gary's alibi as being as dodgy as Kit's aftershave. Lisa asked Kit what Sarah Platt, his partner, thought, with her being close to Todd and the possibility that he may have told her something that would lead them to the killer. Later, Todd visited the Rovers with Christina, where he appeared worse for wear. Lisa and Kit also arrived for a quiet drink, where they asked Todd to be patient until they have a suspect. Todd was clearly enraged, but sat down to enjoy his pint in peace. He overheard Kit and Lisa discussing the case, which caused him to snap and make a bold accusation. "If you lot had kept him locked up, none of this would have happened," he said to Lisa, while those around him told him to calm down. They accused Todd of having too much to drink, and it was suggested that perhaps he should leave, but Todd refused. How long will he continue to spiral, and is his behavior motivated by secrets we viewers don't yet know? The rain hammered down on the cobbles of Coronation Street as tension spread through Weatherfield like wildfire. Blue police tape still fluttered outside the abandoned warehouse where Theo Silverton's body had been discovered just days earlier. Nobody could believe it. Theo had enemies, sure, but murder, and now, suspicion was tearing the street apart. Inside the Rovers' return, conversations fell silent the moment Todd Grimshaw walked through the door. He noticed the whispers instantly. Eyes followed him as he crossed toward the bar, jaw clenched tightly. "Pint?" Jenny asked carefully. Todd nodded. "Make it strong." At a nearby table, Sarah and Billy exchanged worried looks. Todd had barely slept since Theo's death. He'd become obsessed with uncovering the truth, and tonight, he looked ready to explode. The pub door suddenly swung open. Gary Windass stepped inside. The atmosphere turned ice cold. Todd stared at him from across the room, his expression darkening immediately. Gary froze for a split second, sensing every pair of eyes on him. "You've got some nerve showing your face in here," Todd muttered. Gary sighed. "Not this again." "No?" Todd snapped, stepping forward. "Funny timing, isn't it? Theo ends up dead right after threatening to expose you." The room erupted in murmurs. Gary's face hardened. "Careful, Todd." But Todd wasn't backing down. "No, you be careful," he hissed. "Everyone knows you've got a temper. And everyone knows Theo had something on you." Maria quickly appeared from the back room, panic flashing across her face. "Todd, stop it." But the damage was already done. Gary slammed his glass onto the bar. "You think I killed him?" Todd folded his arms. "I think you're hiding something." The accusation hit like a bomb. Even Jenny looked shaken. Gary stepped closer, lowering his voice dangerously. "You don't know what you're talking about." "Then prove it," Todd fired back. For a moment, it looked like Gary might actually hit him. The entire pub held its breath. But instead, Gary grabbed his coat and stormed out into the rain. Maria followed desperately. "Gary!" The door slammed shut behind them. Inside the Rovers, Todd stood motionless, breathing heavily. Billy approached cautiously. "What was that about?" Todd rubbed his forehead. "I saw Theo arguing with Gary the night he died." Billy's eyes widened. "Why didn't you tell the police?" "Because I wasn't sure," Todd admitted quietly. "But now, I can't shake the feeling Gary's involved." At the police station, DS Swain studied Theo's case board carefully. Photos, witness statements, timelines, but nothing solid. Then her phone rang. This is Swain. Her expression changed instantly. What do you mean there's CCTV? Back on the street, Gary confronted Maria under the dim glow of a street lamp. He's trying to frame me, Gary growled. Maria looked terrified. Tell me honestly, did you have anything to do with Theo's death? Gary hesitated, and that hesitation said everything. Maria stepped back slowly. Gary, before he could answer, a police car suddenly pulled onto the street. Two officers stepped out. Gary Windass, one called firmly. The entire neighborhood seemed to stop breathing as curtains twitched across Coronation Street. We need you to come with us for questioning regarding Theo Silverton's murder. Maria covered her mouth in horror. Gary looked toward the rover's window, directly at Todd. Todd's face was pale, but determined. As Gary was led toward the police car, he shouted one chilling sentence. You're accusing the wrong man. Then he was gone. Inside the rovers, silence filled the air again, but Todd couldn't shake the uneasy feeling growing in his stomach. Because deep down, he knew something wasn't right. Gary might be dangerous, Gary might be hiding secrets, but what if Theo's real killer was still out there, watching them all? And as the camera pulled away from the rain-soaked street, one shadowy figure stood hidden in the alley near the warehouse, clutching Theo's missing phone. The mystery was only just beginning. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Crown ST.